What's going on YouTube? JH Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about Night Terrors issue number 3. This one is, of course, written by Joshua Williamson, and we have 3 different artists on this particular title. So, yes, back again, another week of Night Terrors. I haven't read the other spin-off stuff, but based on what's in this issue, you probably don't even really need to read the other stuff because all the important information of Night Terrors happens in the pages of the issues written by Joshua Williamson. So, just, if you see the name Williamson, read it if you want to know Night Terrors. The other stuff is just kind of just a little bit of extra stuff on the side that you don't necessarily need. Like, nothing else has felt distinctly important in terms of the overall story. In fact, some issues have pretty much nothing to do with it, and makes you wonder why they didn't just not do those issues and just kind of take a little bit of a hiatus while the writers kind of work on fleshing out their stories and perfecting their books a little bit more. So there you go. Let's talk about this one. So at the end of the previous issue, they were basically like, it was Wesley Dodds and Deadman. They were facing off against a seemingly endless threat. And then Damian shows up this time around. Yes, so this was teased a while back, even in the pages of the Night Terrors Batman storyline, where Damian was going to show up at some point, and he shows up in this issue. So also the artist in particular is Giuseppe Camiculi, Stefano, and you can kind of see the names right there, if you will, so we can scroll down right there. So Giuseppe Camuncoli, Stefano Nessi, and Casper Wingard. So I have probably butchered those names, in which case I apologize. Sometimes I'm terrible at names, but if I'm wrong, just call me out on it. So, but yeah, so Damian's back here. He's pretty ticked off. I mean, he's going without sleep. He is using every bit of his willpower and skills to try and stay in the waking world so he doesn't slip down and fall. Again, there's bits of Nightmare on Elm Street there where the characters are struggling to stay awake and like not fall asleep. If only they had hypnocells so they could suppress their dreams, but they don't have it in this world to my knowledge. But yeah, so we do get a little bit of the sass. I feel like Damian's been missing for a little bit under Williamson, because he did mature a bit, but in this instance I feel like it's cool enough to kind of have him have a bit of sass. He's still more mature than he has been compared to the past, but I mean, when he's dealing with villains, you gotta have a little bit of that sass, though. I kind of miss that. That's one of his distinct personality traits, is that he can be a bit of an ass at times. So yeah, he's there. Of course, Deadman is still possessing Batman, and he's saying, "Hey, your father must be proud of you." And he's like, "Do not literally put words in my father's mouth, demon. Who are you calling demon?" And then he's just like, "Get out of his body now," because he's like, he's been possessed, his dad's been possessed. When you think about it, the Lazarus Planet event, Damian had to literally face off against Neza, who had possessed his father. So this possession shit doesn't really fly with him. And then it's revealed to be Boston Brand, Deadman, and then they have a little bit of a conversation there about still looking for the Nightmare Stone, if you will. We get a little bit more insight into Insomnia. Still don't know entirely who his full identity is, but we get some more information about him unable to sleep. And he even at one point, like, it gets kind of disturbing. He literally slits his own eyes open just because he can't really sleep, and he wants to go into, like, get this Nightmare Stone to have this power and all that. He still has a vendetta against the Justice League, and I guess we'll find out, like, his true full origins in the next issue. Maybe he's the villain we've seen in the past, or someone new entirely. So as Deadman's kind of doing his thing, they also come to realize that, hey, look, Insomnia's been looking for this Nightmare Stone thing and these other dreams. Well, I mean, if you're reading through the other specials, it feels like he really isn't. And of course, it's not really there. It's not in the waking world. So it's got to be in some place that's a bit in between. So Wesley Dodd utilizes some gas to kind of put Damian and Deadman under, if you will. I guess Deadman goes back into Batman's body at this point, to put them under, to go into this in-between world, which we come to find out is someplace known as the Hollow. Which, by the way, does anybody remember that movie that came out in the early 2000s called the Hollow? It was like an ABC Family like TV horror movie. It had like Nick Carter, Kaylee Kuko, and I think a few other people, but it was about like the Headless Horseman. So I don't know, when I heard the name The Hollow, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember like a movie with that title. So I'll have to give that a watch someday again, because it's been so many years since that thing aired on TV. But I always miss like watching the big TV movie premieres. I feel like I haven't like experienced that in a while. But anyways, whatever. But yeah, so they're looking for the Nightmare Stone in this in-between dream and waking world. I also do like how Deadman's costume kind of shifts a little bit right here to kind of reflect that he's Batman, Deadman. They go in this place known as the House of Horror, which you have the House of Mystery, House of Horror, and then you have other sorts of houses, if you will. So yeah, there's some nightmarish looking images, and at one point Deadman has to, like, in order to find the true place of the Nightmare Stone, he has to kind of kill his self that was already suffering, because he reveals that he didn't just die instantly. He suffered for a little bit before he ultimately passed on, and then he rips himself apart, if you will, and then he pulls out the Nightmare Stone, but it looks like he's kind of possessed in the waking world, if you will, to try and use this thing to take down insomnia. So sometimes wielding an otherworldly power can have some repercussions, and it looks to be the case with Deadman, or perhaps insomnia is in possession of him or something like that. I don't exactly 100% know, but it looks like things are about to get a little bit nuts in here, if you catch my drift. So, but anyways, so this particular issue, I thought it was one of the stronger ones. Again, if you're reading Night Terrors, just read the stuff by Williamson. You don't need to spend money on some of the other stuff. Granted, I haven't read the other issues that are out this week today, but I can assure you that they're probably not going to have really much of an overall impact on the plot. Some could be kind of fun, though, but not really all that necessary for this event. In all honesty, Night Terrors probably would have benefited from just the stuff by Williamson, and then that's pretty much all you really need. You can kind of go on with the normal titles as is. But hey, you know, I'm not DC Comics. They see a means to kind of make this overblown event and try to milk it for all it's worth, and that's what they're going to do. Boy, there's just so many issues in this event. So, yeah. All right, well, I feel like I've rambled on long enough. I actually like this issue. If you have to read anything Night Terrors related, like I said, just read the Williamson stuff. I thought this one was pretty good. Get a little bit of sass with Damian, get some interesting new things with this world called the Hollow, and we finally get the Nightmare Stone. But now in hindsight, knowing that it wasn't actually in the dreams of anybody, it feels like those other ones were more of a waste of time. But hey, it is what it is, I suppose. But yeah, looking forward to seeing where the next Night Terror stuff with Under Williamson goes, because that's the more interesting stuff to me. So yeah, all right, well, if you have any thoughts on this particular issue, let me know what you thought of it in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit the bell for notifications, all that other fun stuff. And I will be back later on today to cover some of the more remaining Night Terror stuff, probably between today and tomorrow. I got like 9 comic book issues to cover within the next few days, so that's going to be a lot, because I got these ones, I got all the Night Terrors ones, I got the Superman 2023 annual, and then there's also World's Finest Teen Titans, the second issue of that. And then there's the Godzilla comic book coming out tomorrow. So much fun stuff to cover on the channel. So be on the lookout. We're going to have some fun. All right, well, that's all I have to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.